I can move on, okay. Hi, everyone, it is, as we all know, what week? Remind me, I've forgotten.
Four.
It is week 5. So we're gonna vote on whether UMUC semesters go fast or slowly. Who votes for slowly? No hands there. Fast? Yes, they go really, really fast. Okay, do keep in mind, everyone, that we're not gonna meet on week 7. So as we were talking about 10 minutes ago now, I think, even though I know this is a tragic loss for everyone, and you're gonna, the 4th of July is gonna come and you're going to get into your car and hope Mr. Mothman doesn't, appear and start to drive here and realize, oh God, we don't have class today. Okay, and just be really saddened by that. I have to say, I think that works out really well for everyone. Because that way, rather than do what we would have normally done, that is a full dress rehearsal, you're just gonna get to work on the paper. Obviously not on the 4th of July, but in that week that you have between the times when you see it. So I think that will work out really, really well, and then we'll just come in the 8th week and we'll get it done. Okay? And once again, let me say this, because I always worry about people who have mixed feelings about presenting. We'll just, I'll just walk in and say who wants to present, and just go in the order of desire, okay? Or the order of will, and then, if you don't want to present, and everyone else is just don't do it. No one will notice, it will not affect your grade. It's not a public speaking class. And whereas I think the technology element of this class and the presentation of the class is very useful, it's still not built into the core requirements of the class. Okay, the assignment for this time, let me remind everyone, the assignment for this time was template 3, which is the template on the political situation. I have seen about 4 of those. Everyone should not finalize it, everyone should be submitting it. I wanted to say something about template 1, 2, and 3, but especially about template 2 and 3. If you want to revise what you've already submitted, that is absolutely fine and really good, and I expect you to. As you become more comfortable with your topic, you realize that your notion of the myth or the myth segment needs to be adapted and revised. You'll also have a better feeling for the narrowing and the making specific of the political and social situation. So those things are going to be revised all the time. If you want to resubmit the template for a better grade, go ahead and do so. Some of you, I gave a kind of gentlewoman's or gentleman's 80 and suggested that you narrow it more. So I'll raise that grade once you really tighten things up. So the 80 was not meant to be the definitive grade by any means. Okay, so the next template that we're going to be working on is template 4, and that is for the interviews. And you want to get started on the interviews and figure out who you're going to interview, because sometimes it takes some time to set it up, and get me those interview templates so I can give you some feedback. If it happens that you're about to do your interview and you've not heard from me, just contact me and I'll work with you on that. After as we're leaving today, if you want immediate feedback about your interview, just ask me, we can talk about it kind of on the way out. The template 5, which is due the following week, is pretty easy in a way, and that's your, what I call your persona template, and I'm gonna come back to that and talk to you again about that in 1 second. Okay, so I've covered, you'll be adjusting basically all of these.
So what's due this week? So what's due Sunday?
This coming Sunday, what is due is this one, and that is your interview template.
Template 4.
Template 4, yeah, on the interviews. Now, the one thing that I need to hurry up because of our little filter. The thing that I want to remind you of and bring to your attention now is that we're at the point where you're going to be making some choices. And even though those choices can be modified, you want to keep in mind that, first of all, you're gonna have to pretty much now decide how you wanna present yourself and how you wanna project yourself in the presentation. Okay, and the range there is basically from a kind of modest, conservative person puzzling out the information to someone who has like an answer for where the world is going in 2019. Okay, and so, but you want to give it some thought. This is one of the differences, I think, between this kind of presentation and our course and the way presentations are usually set up in academia, because this sort of standard academic model is very cautious and sort of supposedly objective. One of the main points that I'm bringing out in this course is in mythology there's almost no objectivity. I mean, that's not really a viable concept. And I'll come back to that in a second. The other thing is, for both the myth and the place, and for the political situation, you're going to have to do some narrowing, and you're going to have to choose very specific elements of the myth. That is, which of the mythological figures, which aspects of the personality, or which relationships and which events. The overall point that I'm trying to make is, I mean, I don't want to say this is exactly arbitrary, but it's your choice. No scholar, no journal, no so-called expert is going to really help you very much with this. The same with the precise place and time. That's why I sent you Tom's. He clearly says, I am focusing on Howard County in 2018. The same, yours is very good as well. Baltimore in 2018. Now, obviously, if you're talking about, let's say, the US Civil War, you're going to have more years in there. But that should be designated very clearly. The same with the time frame. At this point in the course, I mean, you don't have to have it completely locked in, but by the time you give it, you should have a very clear idea of the time frame of your paper and be able to explain why. That should, I would say, probably be 2 sentences, 3 sentences of your presentation. I thought, and let me get to this and we'll cut the film. I thought the use of Mothman that Tom is doing in his presentation helps us a lot with the methodology of this presentation. The whole point is, one does not really know who Oedipus is. One does not really know who Achilles is. There's no definitive notion. You pretty much have to decide based on the rereading of the text. That's why looking at 3 different texts is really important. I was doing this morning, moving from the movie, which I watched last Friday, I guess it was, to all the accounts of Mothman. I mean, you could do a whole PhD thesis on Mothman, because there's really, really a lot of different accounts. There's some similarity between them, but frankly, there's more differences. Okay, and to do a paper or a presentation like this, you basically have to decide. And I'm saying, sort of for the sake of emphasis, that it's kind of arbitrary, that it's your choice, because there are some sort of objective aspects. Hi, how are you? It's all right. To it, but nevertheless, I think psychologically, as you're working on this, you better just say, I've got to decide. And as I have been saying, your teacher, your professor, is not going to say you're wrong. Okay, that's not where I'm looking for internal coherence and clear and personality in the presentation, not like objective truth. Because in a 7-week course, we really don't have time for that. And I think to really come to terms with any of these myths, even the ones that don't have 10,000-year traditions, is going to take more than even a PhD degree. I give you time for it. Thank you very much to my photographic team. We've got the